My wife didn't come to my father's funeral. She said my sister needed her more. My sister was on the plane sitting next to me. I know how that sounds. I know what you're thinking. How did I not see it? How did I believe her? But grief does something to your brain. It makes you stupid. It makes you trust the wrong people at the worst possible time. Let me back up. My father died on a Tuesday. Robert Hayes, 68 years old, construction foreman, the kind of man who wore work boots to church because he came straight from a job site. He had a heart attack at 2:47 p.m. while inspecting foundation work for a commercial build downtown. The site foreman called me. I was in a meeting. I saw Hayes Construction on my phone and almost didn't answer. I wish I hadn't. Chris, it's Danny. You need to get to Mercy General. It's your dad. That's all he said. That's all he needed to say. I knew from his voice. You always know. I drove 40 minutes in what felt like 4. The whole way, I kept thinking my phone would ring. Amanda checking in, asking how my day was going, normal wife things. It didn't ring. When I got to the hospital, they'd already pronounced him massive coronary. He was dead before the ambulance arrived. The ER doctor handed me a clear plastic bag. Inside were my father's belongings: wallet, wedding ring, keys, phone. At the bottom, covered in dried mud, were his work gloves. He'd been wearing them when he fell. I held that bag and thought about calling my wife. I didn't know it would be the last honest conversation we'd have. Amanda answered on the second ring. I heard music in the background, something upbeat. She was at the gym, probably, or that's what I thought. "Babe, what's wrong?" My voice cracked. "Dad's gone. Heart attack. Amanda, he's dead." Silence, then, "Oh my God, Chris, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Where are you?" "Mercy General, I'm still here. I don't know what to do. Stay there. I'm coming. Just stay there." She showed up an hour later. Puffy eyes, no makeup, hair in a messy bun. She looked devastated. She held me in that sterile waiting room, and I believed her grief was real. Looking back, maybe it was. Maybe she did feel bad, just not bad enough. We drove home in separate cars. She'd come straight from wherever she was. At the house, she made coffee I didn't drink and sat next to me on the couch while I called my sister Lauren in Portland. Lauren cried, really cried, the kind of sobbing you can't fake over the phone. "I'll get the first flight out tomorrow," she said. "I'll be there, Chris, I promise." Amanda squeezed my hand. Her phone buzzed on the coffee table. She glanced at it, then flipped it face down. I didn't think anything of it then. Why would I? That night she held me while I stared at the ceiling and tried to process that my father was gone. I was 44 years old and I felt like a kid who'd lost his hero. Amanda whispered all the right things. "I'm here. I've got you. We'll get through this." The next morning, Wednesday, I woke up to an empty bed. I found Amanda in the kitchen, phone pressed to her ear, voice low and urgent. I know, I'm trying. Okay, I will. I promise." She saw me and her expression shifted, softened. She ended the call quickly. "Who was that?" I asked. "Lauren." She set the phone down. "She's really struggling, Chris. She sounded, I don't know, not good." I frowned. "She sounded fine when I talked to her last night." "It hit her this morning, I think. You know how she gets. The delayed reaction thing." I did know Lauren had always processed grief slowly, in waves. Amanda knew that too. That's what made the lie so perfect. She poured me coffee, kissed my forehead. "I'm worried about her. You know she's been dealing with a lot lately. The work stress, the breakup." "What breakup?" I hadn't heard about any breakup. "She didn't want to tell you, didn't want to add to your stress." Amanda's eyes got wet. Actual tears. "Chris, I think I need to go to Portland, just for a few days. She needs someone." My brain couldn't compute what she was saying. "Portland? Amanda, the funeral's Saturday. You can't..." "I know, God, I know. But she's falling apart. She's talking about..." Amanda paused. like the words were too awful to say. She's not in a good place. And you have Olivia here. You have your mom. You have the whole town. Lauren's alone. I sat down, put my head in my hands. My father was dead. My sister was allegedly suicidal. My wife was asking to leave. Can't she come here? I tried. She can't get on a plane, Chris. She told me. She's too anxious. I can be there by tonight. I'll stay through her crisis, then fly back Saturday morning. I'll make it back for the funeral. I swear. She looked so earnest, so concerned, so much like the woman I'd married 17 years ago. Okay, I said, because what else could I say? My sister needed help. My wife was offering to give it. Amanda kissed me, long and soft. Thank you. I'll make this right. I promise. She packed a bag. I watched her throw clothes into a carry-on like she was in a hurry. Our daughter Olivia came downstairs, 16 and sharp-eyed, and watched her mother move through the house like a storm. Where are you going? Olivia asked. Aunt Lauren's. She's having a hard time. Amanda barely looked at her. Take care of your dad, okay? Olivia's jaw tightened. She looked at me, then back at her mother. Okay. Amanda left at noon. I stood in the driveway and watched her car disappear down the street. Olivia stood next to me, arms crossed. Dad, she said quietly, something's wrong. She's helping your aunt. Dad! I looked down at my daughter. She had my eyes, Amanda's sharp instincts. She looked worried, not about Lauren, about me. Not now, Livy, please. I can't, not now. She nodded, didn't push, but I saw it in her face. She didn't believe the story either. I spent Wednesday and Thursday in a fog, made calls, arranged everything. Casket, oak, simple, what Dad would have wanted. Flowers, white lilies, his favorite. Music, Amazing Grace, and How Great Thou Art, the hymns he hummed while working. The funeral director, a soft-spoken man named Peter, kept glancing at the empty chair across from me. Will your wife be joining us? He asked on Thursday afternoon. She's with my sister. Family emergency. She'll be back for the service. Peter nodded, but his expression said what he was too polite to say. What kind of emergency keeps a wife from her husband when his father dies? I picked up the funeral programs Friday morning. The printer had done a beautiful job. Dad's photo from last Christmas smiling in his flannel shirt, holding a mug of coffee. Inside there were photos of our family. Me, Amanda, Olivia, my mom Dorothy, Lauren, my father in his younger days, building houses with his bare hands. Amanda wasn't in the family photo spread. The designer had asked for current pictures and I'd sent what I had. Somehow Amanda had managed to be absent from every recent family photo. She was always the one taking them, she'd said. Now I looked at the program and realized there was no evidence she'd been part of this family at all. I called her Friday night. She answered on the fourth ring, slightly breathless. Hey babe, how are you holding up? Okay, how's Lauren? Better, still fragile, but better. I'm helping her organize some things, keeping her distracted. In the background I heard something, music, laughter, not the sound of a woman in crisis. What's that noise? TV, we're watching something to take her mind off things. Amanda's voice shifted, got warmer. I miss you. I'll be home tomorrow. Early flight. I'll be there before the service starts, I promise. Okay. Chris, I love you. I'm so sorry I can't be there tonight. I love you too. I hung up, stared at my phone. Olivia walked past my bedroom door, saw me sitting there. Did you talk to Mom? Yeah. Did you hear the background noise? I looked at my daughter. Yeah. She sat on the edge of my bed. Dad, I don't think she's with Aunt Lauren. Olivia, I tracked her phone. My stomach dropped. You what? Find my friends. She never turned it off. I've been watching it. Olivia pulled out her phone, hands shaking slightly. Dad, she's not in Portland. She's at the coast, somewhere near Ocean View. I took the phone, looked at the little dot on the map, pulsing at a location 200 miles from Portland, right on the beach. There has to be an explanation. Dad. Maybe Lauren's there. Maybe they went to the coast to get away. Olivia looked at me like I was breaking her heart. Dad, please. I handed the phone back. Not now. I can't. We'll deal with this after the funeral. Just get through tomorrow. She stood up, stopped at the door. I'm sorry. I just wanted you to know. I know, baby. Thank you. But I didn't want to know. Not yet. Not when I had to bury my father in 12 hours. I made every decision alone. Casket, flowers, music. The funeral director kept glancing at the empty chair across from me, waiting for my wife to arrive. She never did. If you've ever had to make those arrangements by yourself, you know that silence. You know how loud an empty chair can be. If you've been there, just leave a comment. I understand. That's all. Just so I know I'm not alone in this. Saturday morning, the funeral. I put on my black suit, the one I'd worn to my wedding, the one I'd worn when Olivia was baptized, the one I wore to important moments that were supposed to be happy. Now I was wearing it to say goodbye to my father. Amanda hadn't called, hadn't texted. Her flight was supposed to land at 8 a.m. The service was at 10. I waited. 9 a.m. Nothing. 9:30 a.m. I called her. Voicemail. 9:45 a.m. My mother Dorothy called. Christopher, we need to leave. We'll be late. Amanda's not here yet. Silence on the other end. Then, maybe she'll meet us there. She didn't. I walked into First Baptist Church and saw 200 people. Friends, family, business associates, guys from the construction crews, everyone my father had touched in his 68 years. They all turned when I entered, looked for Amanda, didn't see her. The funeral director had set up 2 chairs in the front row, one for me, one for my wife. That empty seat screamed louder than the organ. I sat down, my mother on one side, Olivia on the other. That empty chair mocked me. People whispered. I heard fragments. Where's Amanda? I heard family emergency. What kind of emergency? The service started. Pastor Mike gave the eulogy. Talked about my father's faith, his work ethic, his love for family. I barely heard it. I kept staring at that empty chair. When it was my turn to speak, I walked to the podium and looked out at the sea of faces. All of them watching, all of them knowing something was wrong. I opened my mouth to talk about my father, and instead I thought, my wife chose not to be here. I got through it. Barely. Talked about Dad's love for building things, for creating homes where families could grow. About how he taught me that a man's word was his bond. About honor and family and showing up when it mattered. The whole time that empty chair sat there, a void, a message. We moved to the cemetery. Dad's plot was under an old oak tree, the kind of spot he would have picked. Shaded, peaceful, solid. I watched them lower the casket, threw dirt on top, accepted condolences from people who didn't know what to say about my missing wife. And then I saw her, Lauren. My sister walked up from the parking lot, black dress, heels, eyes red from crying. She came straight to me and wrapped her arms around me. Chris, I'm so sorry. I got here as fast as I could. I held her, felt her shake with real grief. Then I processed what she'd said. What do you mean, as fast as you could? I thought. I pulled back, looked at her. Where were you? Portland. I took the first flight I could get this morning. Red eye. I've been traveling since midnight. My brain short-circuited. You were in Portland? Yeah, where else would I be? Olivia appeared next to us. Aunt Lauren, when did you leave for the airport? Lauren looked confused. Like 5 a.m. Portland time. Why? Did Amanda call you this week? I asked. Amanda? Lauren's face went blank. No, I haven't talked to Amanda in months. Why would she? Chris, what's going on? The cemetery spun. The oak tree blurred. She said you were having a breakdown. She said you needed her. She said she was flying to Portland to stay with you. Lauren's face went white. What? No. Chris, I haven't talked to her. I don't understand. People were starting to stare. My mother moved closer, sensing something wrong. Lauren, I said slowly, Did you call Amanda Wednesday morning? Tell her you were struggling. No. Lauren's voice got louder. Chris, I've been alone all week. No one came to Portland. Amanda never... She stopped. Her hand went to her mouth. Oh my God. Chris, where is she? I looked at the empty chair they'd set up at the graveside, then at my sister, who'd flown across the country to be here, then at my daughter, who'd been trying to tell me the truth. I don't know, I said, but that was a lie. Because in that moment, standing at my father's grave, watching my sister's face crack with betrayal, I knew exactly where Amanda was. She wasn't in Portland helping my sister through a crisis. My sister was on the plane sitting next to me. After the burial, after the last condolences, after everyone had left flowers and walked away, the three of us stood there. Me, Lauren, Olivia. The oak tree's shadow stretched long across the fresh dirt. Lauren looked at me like I'd punched her. Chris, I swear to God, I never talked to Amanda. I never asked her to come to Portland. I don't understand what's happening. Olivia stepped forward, unlocked her phone. I do. She held it out. On the screen was a map, a little blue dot pulsing at a coastal location nowhere near Portland. I've been tracking Mom's phone all week, Olivia said quietly. Find my friends. She never turned off the sharing. Wednesday, when she said she was flying to Portland, she drove south, to the coast. She's been at Ocean View Resort since Wednesday afternoon. Lauren took the phone, zoomed in on the map. Her hands started shaking. This is real. You're sure? I watched it move in real time. She stopped for gas. She checked in at the resort. She's been there 4 days. Olivia's voice cracked. She's been there during all of this. I couldn't speak, couldn't process it. My father was in the ground 30 feet away, and my wife was at a beach resort. Lauren's face changed. The confusion turned to something harder. Show me everything. We went to Lauren's rental car, sat in the parking lot of the cemetery while my sister and daughter built a case against my wife. Olivia pulled up screenshots. Days of GPS data, a trail from our house to the coast, timestamps showing Amanda at restaurants at the resort spa on the beach. Wednesday at 6:47 p.m., Olivia said. She checked in at a seafood place called The Wharf. Thursday morning, 9:15 a.m., she was at the resort pool. Thursday night, 8:30 p.m., back at the wharf. Yesterday, Friday, she spent 4 hours at the spa. The data was clinical, precise, damning. While you were picking out the casket, Lauren said slowly, she was getting a massage. My daughter had been protecting me. My 16-year-old daughter had been watching her mother betray us in real time and carrying that weight alone. Livy, why didn't you tell me sooner? She looked at me with tears streaming. Dad, I tried. I kept trying. But you were so sad and I didn't want to make it worse. I thought maybe there was an explanation. Maybe she was. I don't know. Maybe I was wrong. I pulled her close. You weren't wrong. I was. I should have listened. Lauren was scrolling through something on her own phone. Wait. She turned the screen to me. It was Instagram, a photo posted to her account that morning. Lauren at Portland International Airport, 5:47 a.m., coffee in hand, boarding pass visible, standing in front of gate B7. The geotag glowed at the top, PDX. I took this before my flight, she said. I always post when I travel. Look at the timestamp. 5:47 a.m. Portland time, which was 8:47 a.m. here. Amanda texted me at 6:15 this morning, I said. Said she was making you breakfast at your apartment. Said you guys were watching TV to distract you. Lauren's voice went cold. I was boarding a plane, alone. The photo showed everything. The gate number, the departure board in the background listing flights, the coffee cup with the Portland Airport logo. Irrefutable proof that Lauren was never with Amanda, that Amanda's entire story was a fabrication. My sister was 1,200 miles away, perfectly fine. She used me, Lauren said. She used my name. She used the story of me having a breakdown to cover. What? What was she doing, Chris? I don't know. But that was another lie, because pieces were clicking together. The background music on the phone call, the gym membership she never seemed to use but went to constantly, the work dinners that ran late, the phone calls she took in other rooms. Olivia was crying silently. I'm sorry, Dad. I should have told you earlier. I should have made you listen. No, baby. You tried to protect me. My voice broke. That's more than she did. Lauren put her hand on mine. What do you want to do? I looked at my father's grave through the car window, at the flowers people had left, at the empty chair they'd folded up and put away. I want to know everything, I said, every detail, every lie. I want to know who she's with and why she thought my father's funeral was worth missing for it. Lauren nodded. Then let's find out. We drove back to my house. Lauren unpacked her laptop. Olivia pulled up her screenshots. We sat at the kitchen table, the same table where Amanda had kissed my forehead and promised to make things right, and we started digging. She checked into the Ocean View Resort Wednesday at 4:32 p.m., Olivia said. It's a luxury place, $200 a night. I pulled up our bank account, joint account, the one we'd had since we got married, started scrolling through charges. There it was, Ocean View Resort and Spa, $4,800, pending 4 nights, presidential suite according to the booking details, charged to our credit card while I was making arrangements to bury my father. There's more, Olivia said quietly. She pulled up another screenshot. I hacked Mom's Instagram. She has a private account I didn't know about, different from her public one. You hacked her Instagram? I almost laughed. My daughter, the detective. It wasn't hard. She uses the same password for everything. Olivia looked guilty. I know it was wrong, but Dad, look. She showed me the private account. 37 followers, all people I didn't recognize. And there, 5 posts down, was a photo that stopped my heart. Amanda and a man. On a beach at sunset, his arm around her waist, her head on his shoulder, 2 champagne glasses on a table beside them, the ocean behind them glowing amber and gold. The location tag said Sunset Point Resort, not Ocean View. Sunset Point. Same area, different name. She'd lied about the hotel too. The caption read, Paradise Found. The date stamp said Friday, yesterday, the day I was finalizing the funeral program, the day I was writing my father's eulogy, the day before we put him in the ground. Who is he? Lauren asked. Olivia clicked on the man's profile. The account was private, but the profile picture was visible. Professional headshot, expensive suit, confident smile. The username was Bradley Cooper Invest. Bradley Cooper, I read aloud. Not the actor, I guess. Lauren was already Googling. Bradley Cooper, investment firm, Pacific Northwest. Here. Bradley Cooper, founder of Cooper & Associates Investment Group, based in Seattle, married, 2 kids. She turned the laptop to show me a professional website featuring the same man from the Instagram photo. Older than me, maybe 42. Success written all over him. How do you know him? Lauren asked. I shook my head. I don't. I've never heard of him. Mom called him her business mentor, Olivia said softly. I heard her on the phone once. She said he was helping her grow her real estate career. Business mentor. The phrase felt obscene. My daughter had been protecting me while I was blind. Lauren clicked through the website, found a contact page. He's local. His office is 20 minutes from here. I stared at the photo on Instagram. Amanda's hand on his chest, his lips close to her hair, the date stamp burning into my vision. The day we buried my father, she was watching the sunset with this man. How long? I whispered. Olivia looked down. I found texts going back 8 months. She's been deleting them, but I pulled them from the cloud backup. They've been seeing each other since April. 8 months. 8 months of lies. 8 months of gym sessions and client dinners and girls' weekends. 8 months of coming home to me and pretending. And when my father died, she didn't even pause. She posted that photo the day we buried him. Paradise found. I pushed away from the table, walked to the living room, tried to breathe. Lauren followed me. Chris, she chose him, I said. Dad died and she chose him. She couldn't even fake it for 4 days. She couldn't even pretend to grieve for 4 days. I know. The whole town saw, everyone at that funeral saw the empty chair. They all know she wasn't there, and I couldn't finish. Lauren put her arms around me, her brother who was falling apart. We're going to handle this. We're going to get through this. Dad knew, I said into her shoulder. She pulled back. What? He said something last month. I was over at his place, helping him with some paperwork. He asked how Amanda was doing. I said fine, and he just looked at me, said, You sure about that, son? I wiped my eyes. I thought he was being paranoid, overprotective. I told him everything was great. Lauren's face crumpled. Chris, he saw it. He saw what I couldn't see. And God, Lauren, I defended her to him. You didn't know. I should have known. Olivia appeared in the doorway. Dad, there's something else. We went back to the kitchen. She had her laptop open now, showing a document. I found this in the cloud drive. It's a letter from Grandpa. He wrote it 3 weeks ago. My hands went numb. Show me. She turned the laptop. On the screen was a scanned document, my father's handwriting, the letters shaking slightly like his hand wasn't steady. He saved it as, for Christopher. Open after, Olivia said. I think he meant for you to find it. I read it. Christopher, if you're reading this, I'm gone. I'm sorry I won't be there to help you through whatever comes next, but I need you to know something. Watch Amanda. I don't have proof. Just a father's instinct. The way she looks at her phone. The way she leaves rooms when it rings. The way she's never quite present anymore, even when she's standing right in front of you. I asked her last week how she was doing. She gave me that smile. The one that doesn't reach her eyes, and said everything was perfect. Too perfect, like she was reading from a script. A father knows when something's wrong in his son's house. I can't tell you what to do. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just an old man who watches too much TV and sees problems where there aren't any. But Chris, if I'm right, you need to know this. You are worth more than whatever she's doing. You are worth someone who shows up, who stays, who doesn't make you question your own eyes. Trust your gut, son. Honor your family, or you'll have nothing. That's what my father told me, and it's what I'm telling you. You're a good man. You deserve a good woman. If Amanda isn't that woman anymore, don't stay because it's easier. Stay only if she's worth it, and make her prove she's worth it. I love you. Take care of Olivia. Take care of your sister. Take care of yourself. Your father, Robert Hayes. The letter blurred. I couldn't see through the tears. My father had written this 3 weeks before he died. He'd known. He'd seen what I refused to see. And he'd used some of his last words to warn me. Dad, Olivia whispered. I folded the laptop closed, sat there with my father's warning in my head, and the evidence on the table and the empty chair at the funeral still fresh in my mind. He knew, I said again. He knew, and he tried to tell me. Lauren picked up her phone. I'm calling that resort. I want to know if she checked in alone. She didn't, Olivia said. She pulled up more screenshots. There are charges for 2 people. Couples' massage Thursday morning. Dinner for 2 every night. A bottle of champagne Wednesday night. $400. I looked at the credit card statement again. Scrolled down. Saw the details Olivia had already found. Ocean View Resort and Spa, $8,247.62. Breakdown, presidential suite, 4 nights, $4,800 of spa services, couples package, $890 dining, $1,018.47 champagne service, $410.62 resort fee, $300. She charged couples massages on our joint credit card while I was picking out my father's casket. I need to see the guest book, I said suddenly. The funeral guest book? Lauren frowned. Amanda's name is in it. I saw someone sign for her. I thought it was weird, but I don't know what I figured. We drove back to the church. Pastor Mike was still there, cleaning up. He saw us, and his face went soft with sympathy. "Chris, I'm so sorry for your loss. Your father was a great man." "Thank you, Pastor. Can I see the guest book?" He brought it out, the burgundy leather cover heavy in my hands. I flipped through pages of signatures, saw names I recognized, friends, family, co-workers. There, on page 4, Amanda Hayes. I pulled out my phone, found an old birthday card Amanda had signed, compared the handwriting. They weren't even close. Amanda's real signature flowed, curved, had this distinctive way she crossed her T's. The signature in the guest book was harsh, sharp, angular. Someone else had signed her name, someone who barely knew how she wrote. "She paid someone to fake her presence," I said. Even the lie had a lie. Lauren took a photo of both signatures. "We need a lawyer." "Not yet." I closed the guest book, handed it back to Pastor Mike. "I need more. I need to know everything." We went back to the house. Lauren called the resort, claiming to be a friend trying to reach Amanda Hayes. The front desk transferred her to the room. No answer, but the desk clerk confirmed what we already knew. "Mr. and Mrs. Cooper checked out this morning. They were lovely guests, renewed their vows on the beach. So romantic." Lauren hung up, looked at me. "They checked in as Mr. and Mrs. Cooper. Chris, she's been pretending to be his wife." The room spun. Amanda had spent my father's funeral week pretending to be married to another man at a beach resort, while I buried the man who raised me. Olivia pulled up more data. "They've done this before. I found hotel receipts from June, July, September. Always on weekends, always luxury places, always charged to your joint credit card." I added it up in my head. Thousands of dollars, dozens of weekends, months of planning and lying and carefully constructed alibis. "What do I do?" I asked. Lauren looked at me, really looked at me. "You have all the evidence, the GPS data, the Instagram post, the credit card statements, the hotel confirmation, Dad's letter, the forged signature in the guest book." She paused. "What would you do? Comment below. Confront if you'd face her immediately with the evidence. Lawyer if you'd build the legal case first. I want to know, because in that moment I didn't know what the right move was." I looked at the pile of evidence on my kitchen table, photos, receipts, timestamps, my father's warning from beyond the grave, all of it pointing to the same undeniable truth. My wife had betrayed me during the worst week of my life. She'd used my sister's name. She'd abandoned my father's funeral. She'd charged the affair to our joint account. And somewhere, right now, she was probably driving home, probably practicing what she'd say, probably preparing to look me in the eye and lie again. I picked up my phone, texted her, "What time will you be home?" 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again, just landed, be there in an hour. "I love you so much. I'm sorry I couldn't be there. How did it go?" I stared at that text, at the casual lie, the performance of concern. How did it go? My father's funeral, the one she'd missed to renew fake vows with her lover. I didn't respond. Instead, I looked at Lauren and Olivia, my real family, the ones who'd flown across the country and tracked down the truth and built this case because they loved me. "She'll be here in an hour," I said. Lauren stood up. "Then we have an hour to get ready." We laid it all out, every piece of evidence, organized chronologically on the dining room table, the table where we'd eaten as a family for 17 years, where Amanda had served Thanksgiving dinners and birthday cakes and Sunday brunches. Now it held the documentation of her betrayal. The Instagram photo, printed, full color, sunset glowing behind her and Bradley. The credit card statement, highlighted in yellow, 8,247 or 62 towers, circled in red. The GPS screenshots, dozens of them, mapped out day by day. Lauren's airport selfie, timestamp and geotag, clear as day. The guestbook page, photographed next to Amanda's real signature, and at the center, like a prophecy fulfilled, my father's letter, Watch Amanda. Trust your gut. Honor your family, or you'll have nothing. Olivia stood back and looked at the table. It's like a trial. It is a trial, Lauren said. I heard a car in the driveway. My stomach dropped. She was early. Amanda's key turned in the lock. The door opened. She walked in carrying her overnight bag, hair perfect, makeup fresh, wearing the smile I'd fallen in love with 20 years ago. She saw me standing in the dining room, saw Lauren, saw Olivia. Her smile faltered for just a second. Hi, she said. I made it. I'm so sorry I couldn't be there sooner. How was... She saw the table, the evidence laid out like exhibits in court. The color drained from her face. What's this? She asked. I looked at the woman I'd married, the mother of my child, the person I'd trusted with everything, and I said the words I'd been practicing for the last hour. Sit down, Amanda. We're going to talk about the funeral. Amanda set her bag down slowly. She looked at the table, then at me, then at Lauren and Olivia standing behind me like witnesses in a courtroom. Chris, I can explain. Sit down. She sat. Her hands were shaking. Good. I stayed standing. Picked up the first piece of evidence, the Instagram photo, slid it across the table to her. This was posted Friday, I said, the day before we buried my father. You and Bradley Cooper, Sunset Point Resort, Paradise Found. That's what you wrote. She stared at the photo. Her mouth opened, closed. No words came out. I picked up the next item, the credit card statement. $8,247. I let each number land. Ocean View Resort and Spa, presidential suite, 4 nights, couples massage, champagne service. I paused. You charged it to our joint account, Amanda. While I was picking out Dad's casket, you were booking a couples massage. Chris, please, I'm not finished. I picked up Olivia's GPS screenshots, slid the whole stack across. Wednesday, 4:32 p.m., you checked into the resort. Thursday, 9:15 a.m., you were at the pool. Friday afternoon, 4 hours at the spa. You weren't in Portland. You were never in Portland. Amanda looked at Olivia. My daughter stared back with cold eyes. You tracked me? Amanda's voice pitched higher. You lied, Olivia said. I protected Dad. I picked up Lauren's airport selfie, the one that destroyed Amanda's entire story. This is my sister at Portland International Airport, 5:47 a.m. Saturday morning, boarding a plane to come here to Dad's funeral. I leaned forward. The same time you texted me saying you were making her breakfast at her apartment, the same time you said you were watching TV together to help her through her breakdown. Lauren stepped forward. Her voice was ice. I never called you, Amanda. I never asked you to come to Portland. I never had a breakdown. You used my name. You used the story of me falling apart to cover up your affair during my brother's father's funeral. Amanda's face crumpled. Real tears now. Lauren, I'm sorry. Don't. Lauren's hand cut through the air. Don't say my name. Don't apologize to me. You don't get to do that. I picked up the photograph of the guest book signature, placed it next to one of Amanda's old birthday cards. Someone signed your name in the funeral guest book, I said. Probably one of your friends you roped into this, but look at the handwriting, Amanda. Look how different it is. You didn't just skip the funeral. You tried to fake evidence that you were there. Even the lie had a lie. She was crying now, makeup running, hands covering her face. Who is he? I asked. Chris, who is he? She looked up. A client. He was a client. It started as business and then 8 months ago, Olivia said quietly. April, I found the texts. Amanda's eyes went wide. You went through my phone? You went to a beach resort during Grandpa's funeral. Olivia shot back. I think we're past privacy. I picked up the last piece of evidence, my father's letter. I hadn't shown it to Amanda yet. I held it in my hands, felt the weight of it. Dad wrote me a letter, I said, 3 weeks before he died. Want to know what it said? Amanda shook her head. Chris, please don't. I read it aloud. Every word. My father's shaking handwriting turned into my voice. His warning, his instinct, his final advice to his son. Watch Amanda. Trust your gut. Honor your family or you'll have nothing. When I finished, the room was silent except for Amanda's crying. He knew, I said. My father knew something was wrong. He saw what I was too loyal to see. He tried to warn me. And 3 weeks later, he died. And you... My voice broke. You used his death as cover. You used his funeral as an opportunity. You missed saying goodbye to a man who loved you like a daughter so you could be with your lover. It wasn't supposed to happen during the funeral. The words tumbled out of Amanda's mouth before she could stop them. The room went cold. It wasn't supposed to happen during the funeral, I repeated. That's your defense? That you planned the affair, you just didn't plan for my father to die this week? That's not what I meant. Then what did you mean? I slammed my hand on the table. The evidence jumped. What exactly did you mean, Amanda? She looked at the photos, the receipts, the letter, all of it spread out in front of her like a crime scene. I was going to end it, she whispered. After this weekend, I was going to tell Bradley it was over. I was going to come home and fix things with you. You renewed your vows with him. Lauren's voice cut through. The hotel concierge told me. You had a ceremony on the beach. With him. Amanda's face went white. You pretended to be Mrs. Cooper, I said. You played house with him while I was burying my actual father, while our daughter was watching her mother's lies unfold in real time, while my sister flew across the country to support me. I'm sorry. She reached for my hand. I pulled away. Chris, I'm so sorry. I know I can't fix this, but please. You're right, I said. You can't fix this. I picked up my phone, opened my contacts, found the number I'd saved an hour ago. Who are you calling? Amanda asked. My lawyer. I pressed dial. And then I'm calling Bradley's wife. Her face went gray. Chris, no, please don't. His wife doesn't know? I looked at her. Yeah, I figured. What's her name? Margaret. Amanda's voice was barely a whisper. They have 2 kids. Chris, please, don't destroy his family. You destroyed mine. I put the phone to my ear. He gets to face the same consequences. Amanda grabbed my arm. Please, I'll do anything. I'll go to counseling. I'll quit real estate. I pulled away. You'll move out. Tonight. Take what you need. The rest we'll handle through lawyers. Chris, you don't get to stay here. You don't get to sleep in our bed. You don't get to eat breakfast at this table. You don't get to pretend this is still your home. Olivia stepped forward. I'm not going with you. Amanda looked at our daughter. Livy, please. I'm staying with Dad. I don't want to see you. I don't want to talk to you. You missed Grandpa's funeral to be with your boyfriend. I'll never forgive you for that. The lawyer answered. I walked into the other room to talk, gave him the summary. He said he'd start paperwork Monday morning. Grounds for divorce. Adultery. Evidence. Substantial. Custody. Shouldn't be a problem given the circumstances. When I came back, Amanda was still sitting at the table, staring at the evidence like she couldn't believe it was real. You have 1 hour, I said. Pack your things and go. Where am I supposed to go? I don't care. A hotel. Your mother's. Bradley's house for all I care. But you're not staying here. She stood up, looked at me one more time. Chris, I love you. I made a horrible mistake, but I love you. I picked up my father's letter, held it up. You missed his funeral, Amanda. You chose another man over my father's goodbye. There's no coming back from that. There's no apology big enough. There's no explanation that makes it okay. She looked at Olivia. Baby, please. Go, Olivia said. Just go. Amanda went upstairs. We heard her moving around, opening drawers, crying. 30 minutes later, she came down with 2 suitcases. She stopped at the door. I'm sorry, she said one more time. Nobody answered. She left. The door closed. The 3 of us stood in the dining room, surrounded by evidence of betrayal, and we didn't say anything for a long time. Finally, Lauren spoke. You did the right thing. I know. What happens now? Olivia asked. I looked at my daughter, 16 years old and already learning that love isn't enough, that trust, once broken, can't always be repaired, that some choices have permanent consequences. Now, I said, we tell the truth. By Monday morning, half the town knew. It started with my call to Bradley's wife, Margaret. I gave her the basics, showed her the evidence via email, the Instagram photo, the hotel receipts, the timeline that proved her husband had been with my wife during my father's funeral. Margaret didn't cry, didn't yell, just said, "Thank you for telling me," and hung up. She filed for divorce Tuesday morning. But before that, she did something I didn't expect. She called everyone in Bradley's professional network, his business partners, his investors, his clients, and she told them exactly what kind of man he was. By Monday afternoon, Bradley had lost 3 major investors. By Tuesday, his business partner, a man named David Rostow, who'd co-founded the firm, released a statement dissolving their partnership effective immediately. Cooper and Associates will be restructuring. The statement read, Bradley Cooper is no longer affiliated with the firm. $4.2 million in investments pulled, gone. Because in the business world, integrity matters. And when Margaret showed them the hotel receipts, the photos, the timeline proving Bradley had been conducting personal affairs during business hours, they didn't care about the affair itself. They cared that he'd lied, that he'd been unreliable, that he'd prioritized a secret relationship over his professional obligations. In business, that's death. Amanda faced her own reckoning. The funeral had been packed. 200 people, most of them from our community, people who'd known my father for decades, people who'd noticed the empty chair, people who'd whispered questions. By Monday afternoon, 4 of them, women who attended my father's funeral, had called Amanda to cancel their real estate contracts. One of them left a voicemail I listened to on Amanda's behalf, forwarded from her business line to our home phone out of habit. Amanda, this is Patricia Whitmore. I attended Robert Hayes' funeral Saturday. I'm the widow who bought the house on Maple Street. You helped me find it after my husband died last year. I remember how kind you were, how you understood grief. A long pause. I saw your empty chair at the funeral. I heard why you weren't there, and I can't do business with you. I buried my husband last year. You disgust me. Consider our contract terminated. 3 other messages said similar things. Polite but firm, disappointed, betrayed. By Tuesday, Amanda's broker called our house. I answered. He asked for Amanda. I told him she didn't live here anymore. I need to speak with her about an ethics complaint, he said. What kind of complaint? I can't discuss details, but several clients have raised concerns about professional conduct, about misrepresentation, about... He paused. Mr. Hayes, did your wife actually attend your father's funeral? No, she was at a beach resort with a client, a married client. Silence, then. Thank you for your honesty. I'm sorry for your loss. The ethics complaint centered on Amanda's representation that she'd been attending a family funeral to justify missing several scheduled showings and open houses that week. Clients had been understanding, accommodating. Then they learned she'd lied, that she'd actually been on vacation, that she'd used a family death, a real death, my father's death, as an excuse. Real estate licenses in our state require ethical conduct, truthfulness, integrity. Amanda had violated all of it. Her license went under review. She'd have a hearing in 60 days. The town talked. Of course they talked. Small community, big scandal. The woman who missed her father-in-law's funeral for an affair. The man who helped her do it. The sister whose name was used as cover. The daughter who'd uncovered it all. People chose sides. Most chose ours. I got calls, texts, messages, people offering support, people sharing their own stories of betrayal, people telling me my father would be proud of how I handled it. Pastor Mike called Wednesday. Chris, I heard. I'm so sorry. If you need anything, I need to know something, I said. The guest book, Amanda's signature. Do you remember who signed for her? A long pause. Her friend Kelly Morrison. She came up to me after the service, crying, said Amanda had asked her to sign the book because Amanda couldn't make it but wanted to be present in spirit. I didn't think much of it then, but now you know it was premeditated. She planned the lie. I'm sorry, Chris. Don't be. You didn't do anything wrong. But Kelly Morrison did. And when word got out that she'd helped Amanda fake her presence at a funeral, her own friend's father-in-law's funeral, Kelly faced her own social exile. People stopped inviting her to book club, stopped liking her Facebook posts, stopped pretending betrayal was acceptable as long as it was done for a friend. Bradley's collapse was faster, more public. Margaret didn't just file for divorce. She went for full custody of their 2 kids, a 14-year-old son and a 12-year-old daughter. Her lawyer argued that Bradley had shown reckless disregard for family obligations and moral unfitness as a parent. Exhibit A, hotel receipts proving he was at a resort during Christopher Hayes' father's funeral. Exhibit B, Instagram photos showing him celebrating while a business associate, me, technically through construction contracts, was burying a parent. Exhibit C, financial records proving he'd charged the affair to the business expense account, claiming the resort stay as a client relations retreat. That last one broke him. His remaining business partners discovered he'd been using company funds for personal affairs. Not just with Amanda. There were other trips, other hotels, other women. They forced him out completely, demanded he sell his stake in the firm, threatened legal action for embezzlement. Bradley's investors pulled the rest of their money. $2.8 million more gone overnight. By Friday, 1 week after my father's funeral, Bradley Cooper had lost his wife, his kids, his business, and his reputation. His lawyer called my lawyer, wanted to know if I planned to sue for something, anything, emotional distress, alienation of affection, whatever might stick. My lawyer asked me, do you want to pursue this? I thought about it. About Bradley losing everything, about Amanda's crumbling career, about the town's judgment, about my father's grave and the empty chair and the choice she'd made. No, I said, they're already paying. I don't need to add to it. But the consequences kept coming anyway. Because truth has momentum. Once it starts rolling, it doesn't stop. Amanda moved into a studio apartment across town, the cheapest place she could find. Her mother wouldn't take her in, said she was ashamed. Her friends stopped calling. Her business dried up. She tried to see Olivia, texted her daughter every day, I love you, I'm sorry, please talk to me. Olivia never responded. The divorce proceedings started. My lawyer was efficient. Adultery was clear. Evidence was overwhelming. Custody wouldn't be contested. Olivia was 16, old enough to choose, and she'd already chosen. Asset division was straightforward. The house was mine, paid off by my father's construction business years ago. The cars, the savings, the retirement accounts, we'd split them. I didn't fight, didn't need to. I had everything that mattered. Amanda asked for one thing through her lawyer, the photo albums, the family pictures, memories of Olivia growing up. I gave them to her, kept digital copies, let her have the physical reminder of what she'd destroyed. Margaret and I met for coffee 2 weeks after the confrontation. She wanted to compare notes, she said, make sure our stories aligned for the legal proceedings. We sat in a booth at the diner, didn't order food, just coffee, neither of us drank. How are you holding up? She asked. Honestly, I don't know. You? Same. She stirred her coffee. My kids are devastated. My son won't talk about it. My daughter cries every night. I'm sorry. Don't be. You didn't do this. They did. She looked at me. The concierge at the resort said they renewed their vows. Did Amanda tell you that? Yeah. They used our vows. Bradley's and mine. I read the ceremony script. The resort keeps records. He used the same words he said to me 20 years ago. She laughed bitterly. He couldn't even be original in his betrayal. We sat in silence for a minute. Your father-in-law's funeral, Margaret said finally. That's what I can't get past. Bradley knew. He knew your father had died. I found texts where Amanda told him, and they still... I know. What kind of person does that? The kind we married, apparently. She smiled sadly. At least we know now. At least we know. We finished our coffee, exchanged lawyers' information, promised to stay in touch. Two people bonded by betrayal, trying to figure out how to rebuild 6 months later. Autumn had turned the leaves gold and red. The oak tree over my father's grave blazed with color. I stood there with Lauren and Olivia. We'd brought flowers, white roses, Dad's favorite. The headstone was simple, just his name, his dates, and the words, builder, father, friend. Olivia knelt down. She'd written a letter. She'd been working on it for weeks, she told me, needed to say things she hadn't gotten to say at the funeral. She read it aloud. Dear Grandpa, I'm sorry I didn't read this at your funeral. I was too sad and too angry and too confused about Mom. But I want to tell you now because I think you can hear me. You taught me something important. You taught me to tell the truth, even when it's hard. To protect the people I love, even when it costs me. To stand up for what's right, even when I'm scared. I did that, Grandpa. When Dad needed me, I told the truth. I protected him. I stood up. And I know you're proud of me because I'm proud of me too. I miss you every day. I love you. Your granddaughter, Olivia. Her voice didn't shake anymore. 6 months ago, she'd been a kid, caught between her parents' war. Now she was something stronger, something forged in fire. Lauren put her arm around Olivia. That was beautiful, sweetheart. I knelt down next to them, placed the roses on the grave. Then I reached into my bag and pulled out something else. My father's work boots, the ones from the construction site, the ones still covered in dried mud from the day he died. I'd kept them, couldn't bring myself to throw them away. I set them at the base of the headstone. You built things, Dad, I said quietly. Houses, businesses, family. You built me, taught me what it means to show up, to keep your word, to honor the people who deserve it. I paused. You saw the truth about Amanda before I did. You tried to warn me. I wish I'd listened sooner. But I heard you eventually. And when I did, when I found your letter, it gave me the strength to do what needed to be done. Lauren's hand found mine, squeezed. We honored you, Dad, I continued. We told the truth. We stood together. We didn't let her disrespect your memory. We protected Olivia. We protected each other. My voice caught. You taught me, honor your family or you'll have nothing. You were right. Amanda lost everything because she forgot that. But I looked at Lauren, at Olivia, at the family that had shown up when it mattered. We still have everything that matters. The wind moved through the oak tree. Leaves drifted down, gold and red, settling on the headstone like a blessing. Olivia leaned against me. Do you think he knows that we're okay? Yeah, baby, I think he knows. We stood there a while longer, the three of us, the family that remained, the family that had fought for each other and told the truth and refused to let betrayal define us. Eventually, we walked back to the car, but before we left, I turned back one more time, looked at the work boots sitting at the base of the headstone, mud-stained and worn and real, a reminder that honest work, honest love, honest family, those things last, those things matter, even when everything else falls apart. We drove home, together, the way families should. Epilogue. Note. Amanda's real estate license was suspended for 18 months. She moved to another city, started over. Olivia sees her twice a year now, polite visits, surface conversations. The relationship they had before is gone. Bradley lost his business entirely. Margaret got full custody. He pays child support and sees his kids every other weekend. His LinkedIn profile says he's consulting. Nobody's hiring. I sold the house. Too many memories. Olivia and I moved into a smaller place closer to Lauren, who transferred her job to be near us. We have dinner together twice a week. Last month, Olivia asked if I'd ever date again. I told her maybe, someday, when I meet someone who shows up, who stays, who understands that family isn't just a word, it's a promise. My father understood that. He lived it. And now, so do I. If you have a story about a family member, blood or chosen, who saw the truth before you did, or who stood by you when someone else walked away, share it in the comments below. Let's honor the people who actually deserve it. Sometimes the people we think are family aren't. And sometimes the people who show up when it matters most are the only family we need. And if this story helped you see something in your own life, if it gave you the courage to face a truth you've been avoiding, share this video. Someone else might need to hear it.